One day I want to go from struggling to run even the smallest hills to be able to run in places like this. Hi, I'm Lenka and I'm a pretty average runner that got back to running in January 2023. I'm slow and pretty out of shape because I was sick for 2.5 years. A few years before I got sick, back in 2017, I went on a wild hitchhiking competition/trip, and one of our checkpoints and tasks for the competition was to climb the Höchkönig mountain in the Austrian Alps. Climbing up the mountain was one of the hardest things that I have done, and I realized two things. Well, first of all, how unfit I am and how I need to change that ASAP. And second of all, I have to figure out how to spend more time in the Alps because it's a paradise on earth and I fell in love. Now, back then, what I had in mind was just hiking. I was running, but very recreationally, and I could not run what I run today. As a girl that comes from the mountains, hiking is something that I've always done and always loved. But what I didn't expect would happen in the past 2 years is just how much I'm going to fall in love with running. So a new dream was born, and I would love to run a trail race in the Alps. Namely, I would love to run one of the races organized by the UTMB. And by UTMB, I mean the UTMB World Series races in the 20K category. That's all I can currently imagine to run in the near future, meaning in a few years if I keep up the hard training. Because even these races are pretty challenging. There are just a few problems with that dream. First of all, I'm not fit enough yet. Second of all, my body is not used to the altitude and I will have to work on that as well. And third of all, it's expensive and really hard to get into these races. So, here is my plan. I will be dedicating all of my summers to trail running, and before I attempt any race in the Alps, I'm gonna do trail runs here in Czechia or surrounding countries. My first trail run, like I said in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, here is the one that I'm talking about. I'm gonna be running the 11K Běhy lesy Jizerská, which is a trail race up in the Jizera mountains, which is in the north of Czechia. It has about 200 meters of elevation gain, which is not much, but it's still going to hurt. I plan to spend a lot more time in the mountains so my body can start getting used to the altitude. I'm going to do quite a bit of hiking and some running for shorter distances. And I'm gonna be saving up and increasing my earnings so I can afford to do these like mini training camps where I can spend 1 week, 2 weeks in the mountains, in Krkonoše, Tatry, and maybe even Alpy. We will see. Now, you might be wondering, why would I share this on the internet when I'm nowhere near ready for such a goal? Because we don't often see normal people who are not athletes trying to tackle big goals like this. There are many videos of incredible people who do hard things, who do these crazy ultra marathons, who cover these distances because their fitness level is so great that it looks deceivingly easy to do that thing. But they have worked really hard to get to the point to be able to do that. It's just something that doesn't have the space in that particular story. And I would like to fill in that gap with my story and show that you can get from being an unfit person to become ready for such a thing. And if that resonated with you and perhaps you are on a similar journey and you want to stay in touch, then please feel free to subscribe and share your goals in the comments below. I look forward to reading about them. Okay, and that's a wrap on this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!